Welcome to Lunch at Circle. I'm Karlsson. I'm sitting here at the restaurant Masio together with Lindsay Adams, who is the president of the Global Speakers Federation and the founder of a company in Australia called Teamocracy.
Thanks, Per. Lovely to be here.
You're here today to talk about teamwork. And how teamwork today is different than what it used to be. Now, let me ask you first question. Why has it changed in your view?
Well, Per, that's interesting you asked the question. You know what? I believe that teamwork is dead. The way businesses do teamwork now is so totally different to what it used to be. Mm-hmm. Once upon a time, we joined a company and we climbed the corporate ladder and we stayed for the long period of time. Today, people join organisations for a much shorter period of time, and I believe they climb the corporate lattice. So they jump from organisation to organisation, or from job to job, sometimes within the same organisation, as they climb the corporate lattice. Mm-hmm. And because we have now a combination of baby boomers, Generation X, Generation Y, people working in the workplace, and combine that with the speed at which business is done today, we live in a much different world. Businesses go, and we no longer stop working. What happens is we finish work in this time zone, and oftentimes we pass that job on to another team in a different time zone, and the work continues to happen around the world. Now, of course, that's big business, of course. It's not the same for small or medium-sized business, perhaps, but still, it's a different world today.
So what, from a perspective of a person working in a company or a big company, what does this mean for me? How does it change my working environment?
How does it change my working environment? It means that I have to make choices about how long I'm going to stay and what's my level of satisfaction before I move on, one. It also means that the people I work with may not be here for the long haul. Mm-hmm. So these days it's typical for someone to join an organisation and stay for just 3 or even 5 years maximum. Myself, I'm a baby boomer. I joined an organisation in Australia, the Australian Taxation Office, public sector organisation. I stayed there 18 years. Today that would not happen. So for an individual, it's about how do I prepare myself for the next role, whether that be in this organisation or another.
Now, one of the big issues for companies used to be employee retention, how to avoid that people jump ship.
Yeah.
Is that a question which is now obsolete?
No, in fact, I believe that retention is still paramount, and we still have to identify what do we need to do to keep the best people. Now, some people will move on, and you know what? Some people will move on and do us a favour because we really don't want them to stay. Mm-hmm. But the key people that we want to stay, we have to work hard with them to make sure that they are sufficiently satisfied and motivated in their role so they have enough challenge and excitement that they will stay. Mm-hmm. So retention is still an important issue in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. On the other hand, you also have to adapt to the fact of life that people don't stay so long, even if you want them to.
Yeah, now what often happens, some employers say, well, these young kids, I know they're not staying long, so I'm not going to spend any money on them. I'm only going to reward loyalty, and I'm only going to train the people who stay for the long haul. The danger is they might still stay. Yeah. And so then we end up with a bunch of duds, a bunch of poorly motivated people who don't perform.
Now, for a company today who want to work effectively with teams or with their employees in general, what are the 3 important things to keep in mind?
3 important things. I'd say passion. Yeah. We have to understand that people bring passion to the job, and we have to light a fire underneath their passion and create passion for them. Mm-hmm. Persistence. Mm-hmm. We need to be persistent as an employer, but also engender and enliven persistence in our staff so that they stay with us. And finally, perception. Mm. We have to influence the perception of our people. Now, perception is a key because my perception is my reality. And if my perception about my employer is good, then I'm going to stay longer. So we have to feed in positive perceptions to our employees to ensure that they want to stay with us, that the challenges are exciting and motivating for them to be with us for the longer haul.
Now, let's spend a few words on Teamocracy. You run a company which is called Teamocracy.
Yeah.
What you do?
Okay, so Teamocracy is a consulting group. We work within organisations helping them build effective teams and leaders. I do that a couple of ways. I speak at conferences, so I do keynote speeches. I also do seminars and workshops in-house in organisations, and I coach selectively some executives in organisations. I have a little team of people who work with me, and we are an international organisation. We're based in Australia. We do a lot of work in Asia, and more recently doing some work in the UK and the US, and now I'm looking at opportunities in Europe, hence my visit to France.
And thank you for being with us here today. Lindsay Adams, Teamocracy. I'm Karlsson, Lunch at Circle.